Hi guys, we're going out to the garage and the snow just doesn't want to stop. March 1st, you know what they say about March? Comes in like a lion, leaves like a lamb. And hey everybody, welcome to Bucket's Garage on this beautiful snowy Sunday. So come on inside, let's get something work done. All right. Okay guys, hey. We're gonna do, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait, you didn't subscribe. Come on guys, like and subscribe. That'd be awesome if you guys do that. If you like and subscribe, that'd be great. We'll keep it going. Anyway, today's video is gonna be, we're gonna do brakes on the Honda Trail 70. We're gonna show you how to do the rear brakes, probably even the front brakes on this gem of a Trail 70. Yeah. Let's get this thing going. Let's do some brakes. 1970 Honda Trail 70. So where you want to start is, see your brakes. You know, you're getting this and you're really stomping on it to try to stop. And your brakes are way back here and it's adjusted all the way up. Time for new brakes there, buddy. You don't want to die. You don't want to hit that sunlight coming right for you. And you become mincemeat. You become flat as a pancake. And then no one can buy parts off the bike because it's junk. I mean, the loss of life would be the worst part. So, 14 millimeter, guys. You want to start off with a 14 millimeter for your nut right here on the back side. To get this off, you may want an extension, of course, but all right, takes this off, your adjustment. Pull your spring off. You might want to find yourself a magnet. I use all these old magnets out of hard drives. Think, and this ain't gonna stick because that's like a die cast, so it ain't gonna stick. But don't want to lose it. Same with the inside. This round piece of stock steel with a hole in the middle, it's not steel. Heh, I lied, it is steel. All right, you got that off, but I'm way ahead of myself, guys. Find yourself an old Lockheed Lee milk crate. Oh yeah, that's right. Lockheed Lee and Painesville don't exist anymore. That's why I got this right. Anyhow, you're gonna want to lift it up somehow. I'm gonna have to bring it down. Down to the ground. Oh, I broke the seat. So, and lift it up. Oh, and prop everything. You know, as things get old, your back hurts. Hey, it's almost St. Patrick's Day and yeah. So anyway, you get that up. And to get your wheel off, whew, that's got good bearings in it. Look at that. It's like the wheel of fortune. Look at that. Where's it going to stop? We need that seat. $2,000. Woo!
You get $1.
It's a $1 spin. Zero. All right. Sorry guys, we're just having a Sunday fun here. All right, once you have that lifted up, then you can probably disconnect the little bar I showed you here. Now, if you want, you get this out of the way. I don't have it on here right now. This bike is in progress. Maybe next week I'm going to put this bike back together. You remember seeing the video with doing the engine. But everybody's texting me going, hey, why don't you finish that bike? All right. But you know why I haven't finished it? The essence is coming out of me. That means it's cold out here. So that's why I haven't done it. And right now, that heater isn't working. And my other heater is out of fuel right now, and we don't have time to go in town to get it. So. I got to make this video for you guys because I love you guys. I got to make this video for you so you can see how this works. All right, so there's going to be a little tiny washer that's holding this rod on right here. And then there's going to be a little cotter key. So, camera girl, show this over here. Now, normally there's a tiny little washer and a cotter key on there. You can take that off. You'll know what I'm talking about when you look at it. Like, oh, I know what buckets is talking about. So you take that off, and you can pull your rod right off. That's out of the way. Now, you don't have to do that, but it makes it easier to get it out of your way. Now, if you want, you got to loosen this bolt here. And I think that's either a 13 or a 14. To me, it looks like a 13. Well, actually, it looks like a 12 millimeter. I bet you it's a 12. Who wants to guess what size is the nut? We're going to say, wait a minute. Did you say that I'm a nut?
Yes, I did.
You're absolutely right. So, anyway, guys. Ha! It is a 12. All right, so with your super strong impact hands, you can get that nut right off. See that? See, I did it because I'm like super strong and got that off. No problem. Got it off. Anyway, no, seriously, guys, it was loose. So, and you can take this nut off, your washer. Actually, that's the stud. Take that off. And I actually like to put that back on so I don't lose anything. Just like that. Put it on the magnet. It's out of your way. And now you got all this is loose. Now your next step is you're going to want to take your shaft out. And come on this side, camera girl. Now this thing here is off on the other side. You're supposed to have both of these on each side. We'll get into that when we put this thing back together. See, these are been rebuilt. I put them on there. So, but you're going to need this here, and I do believe it is a 19 millimeter. So 19. You're going to want to zip it off. And you can use an old Phillips screwdriver like this to put in a hole on this side. Poor camera girl, she's going back and forth here, but it fits perfectly. Craftsman Phillips fits in there perfectly in between here. So when you're unscrewing it, it holds it, and that way you can do that. Now back on this side, you're going to take this off. Now, there is a mark on the one, so it doesn't matter which side you put this on. It could be the left or right, because there's a marking in there. A mark here, and a mark on top. So if you even went to the other side, it's going to be marked. I'll show you when we put this back together what those marks are for. And if you have your chain on here, you have it loose now, get your chain off. If you really want your chain out of the way, take your shock off. Unscrew this, loosen this up here. Pull it out. You can take your chain and put it aside if you don't want to scratch all this up. But this here has been scratched up since 1970, so who cares? I don't care. I mean, this bike's going to be kind of a pit bike until someone takes it and loves it again. I mean, I'm loving it again. I'm bringing it back to life. But I don't want someone else to enjoy bringing it more back to life after I'm done bringing it back to life. We want it to come be super again. So anyway, once you get that off, depends how gooky it is inside. You might have to really fight it to get it off. Now, you take it off. I want to make a note, too. This is missing your spacer. See this spacer right here? That spacer is missing. There's supposed to be two of these. That just fell off that side. There's supposed to be a spacer here. That goes in between. And on the other side, it goes on the other side. But when we get this thing back together, it's going to be more in detail putting this thing back together. So you pull this out like that. Here, Laddie. And then you got to tell the T mark. All right, that's all out of the way. Now, I do believe there's even a rubber missing out here because I think it goes inside there. I'm gonna have to look. I think there's supposed to be a piece of rubber in there, a dust cover, like sort of deal. But anyway, get it out of the way. Now that we got our tongue off, we're doing great. Now here's your brakes. Now, in order to get these off, this is really simple. Instead of trying to fight it like this, guys, I mean, you can fight it like this. You can get a screwdriver, you can pry it like this, pry it to get them off. Yeah, but it's messy. And if this is nice, you don't want to scratch it up. This is not nice. It's been sitting in a barn for like 30 or 40 years. Put your shaft back in. Just like that, slowly. Shaft's back in. See? Come over to your vise. Don't look at anything over here. My bench is a mess. Yes, I know, but I know where everything is at. I'm ADHD. This is my bench. This is the way I like it. Anyway, guys. And my vise is broke. Talking about backyard mechanics, right? All right. Put it in the vise just like that. Now you're stable. Now you can get your screwdriver. And, see it, camera girl? Get close up. It's here and here. What you're going to do, you're just going to pry it a little bit. And then you can twist it up. Same with this one. Once they're up, they're like a sandwich.
Or a bear trap for fingers.
Yes. Comes off just like that. Okay. Now, lay it down where the springs are still attached. We're going to go ahead now. Let's get the new brake pads out. Now, if you guys, right here is a link where we got them on Amazon, but eBay's got them. Everywhere's got them. Right here. You can find different places got all these brake pads for good deals. And they're the same as the front and they're the same as the rear. So, let's break the new pads out. Are we on?
Yes.
All right, so, okay guys, here are the brake pads. They look Japanese, but I don't know Japanese and Chinese writing, but that's what they came as. And I took this out, and look at that. They have springs already. Look at there. That's pretty nice. Springs are already on it. I like it. And I just for the fun of it, mashed up. The height is the same. Of course, it could be a little bit thicker because, you know, they're not worn out. They're the same here. So, I mean, if you got a set that didn't come with springs, it's really easy to change, guys. All you got to do is take it apart like that. See those springs come right off? Of course, you know how to do that. Come on, you know how to put springs on. One there, one like this, you know, and then do the other one. Just in case you don't have springs. But this one came with the springs. So the easy thing to do, of course, I had this over here. Ooh, what do we got on there? Look at that. Look at the little tricks that people have done. Let me get my light here. I didn't even notice that. Look at a little trick that someone did. They took a clamp to make it a little bit thicker. Just a little bit. Come on this side. Look, you can tell from here. Right there. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? No, well, we're going to have to take that off. So I'm going to need needle moves. That could be too thick.
I see dead people.
It's cold. All right. So let's get this off here. Who knows when they did that? Could have been in 1975. Look at that. Guy, if you're watching this and you're the one who did this, dude, that's pretty awesome. To get you by to ride 1 or 2 more days. That's pretty cool. I'm going to put that on a wall of, that's cool. All right. So you guys know that this the flat part here of your brakes goes on the flat end. And then, of course, the round goes on the round peg. It's just round peg, round hole thing. So, and you do the same as how you took it off, kind of. Sometimes you might need a little extra strength. I can do it because I got a little extra strength. But if not, you get one side started. You can take your screwdriver again and pop it on, just like so. Of course, I'm going the wrong way here. All right. You know, I'm going a little too quick, but just in case, come over here by the back. Some of these can be frozen as well. So if you need to take this out and clean it up and grease it and put it back in, you can. But let me show you something on here. Now usually on top of these, let me clean it off for you. Oh, don't worry, camera girl, I ain't gonna hurt you. It's kind of beat up, but there is a little dot on there. And you might see it better on yours, but can you do a super zoom, hon? See that little dot right there? A little dot right there. Usually that's a small mark on here. It actually shows you where it goes on here, and I think there's usually a mark on this as well. But that's how you line this up. So even if you don't have, you can't find it, make yourself a line to let you know where it goes. Because there's a certain way, this here, there's no grooves in here. So this will only go on one way. But that's your dot that gives you kind of a idea where it goes. That's the case. You had to take this apart. Now, it's ready to go back together. These, make sure you throw them away. Maybe take them to your local scrapyard. Aluminum. Yes, aluminum is up right now.
What about the springs? Can you keep the
Springs you might want to hang on to. You can use them for some kind of project. If you're kind of like a hoarder like me, you want to save those springs. So, now, we're putting this back together. I end up on another. Don't you go anywhere. Stay. Stay there, boy. Stay there. Don't move.
Sit, boo-boo, sit.
Yeah, sit, boo-boo, sit. Okay, so the spacer's going to go on this side. I usually start from this side. Now, don't forget, I showed you this earlier. This will go on first. All right, so you don't forget, that goes on first. You can lift this up. Lift it up higher. Gets a little tricky at this point. So, I was getting a little carried away. And I put that little spacer in there. Since you have all that room at the moment, get it started. Probably you want to use a little hammer. Now this little washer here, the thick spacer. Yeah. Now camera girl, you'll have to go on the other side. Now before you go to the other side, before you push this all the way in, guys, make sure you kind of get that in there, because once you get it all the way there, let me show you what will happen. You'd be like, Uh-oh, I can't get it in there. So then you end up taking it back off, and you got to put it back in, and you push it through. So, all right, now come to the side. Come, Heather.
Heather.
Your other spacer goes in here, which is it. This is probably missing a seal here, which I'll eventually get. I'm going to have to order one. I don't have any until we get back to putting this back together. So I'm going to get that right. Get that back. You get your chain on. Now this side, don't forget. Hello. Oh, I see you through that hole. I see you. Yeah, look at there. Hey, guys. Hey, remember Romper Room? Hey, look, I see you. Ah, you're wearing a red shirt there, dude. Oh, that guy. Hey, I see you. You're wearing a blue shirt. Get that. Put your shirt back on. It's cold. Man. Don't forget now. Put this on. Like so. Now, I lost that old junk nut I had. Oh, there it is. It's stuck. Oh, I'll just do it by hand. For now, we're just going to do this by hand. I want to show you a little trick here. Before you tighten this all up, okay, camera girl, you had to come to this side. Now, before you tighten everything up, make sure you get this all back together first. This goes in here. Of course, you know. Don't you know? This goes on the back side. Now, there's actually supposed to be like a little spring behind there. Matter of fact, let me see if I got one, because I want to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. Well, I can't find a spring right now, but I do believe there was supposed to be like a really thin two-turn spring maybe that went behind here. Kind of gave a little bit of a spring once it was on, because it didn't want it. You don't want this like super tight. You want it to move. But I'm just going to put it on there for now. The washer and the 12 millimeter nut. That one goes on there. Well, you don't cross thread it. Oh, for Pete's sakes. It's kind of hard when you got gloves on. But, yeah, I think there's supposed to be a little spring behind it. But, of course, I could be thinking up here. I would have to look at the book. It's been years since I've actually done one of those. All right. Your next thing you're probably going to do, once you got that on, before you even get this back on. Now, let me explain something. If you guys, excuse me, are going to tighten this wheel back down, you want to get your chain on there. You don't want your chain like super tight, like a tightrope. You don't want a little bit of like a half-inch play with that chain. So also, when you're doing this, there's a tiny mark on here, a little groove. You can see where I made a black mark on here. Okay, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 4 lines on this. Now let's say it's pretty close to about right here. All right, you're at your second line with this mark. All right, take note. Now you're going to have this a little more snug. Now, if you come to this side, see how this one's way off? You're going to want it at the second mark, depending on how your chain is. Could be the third mark, could be the fourth mark. But you're just going to leave that at the second mark, and you'll adjust this, you know, when this is tighter. So it's about right there. Because you're going to tighten these up just to get your chain tight. So your chain will be on, and you go back and forth and make sure these are even. That will actually make sure your axle is even. You know, your wheel's not crooked, and your chain ain't going to pop off. So remember, when you do go to do that, to tighten up your chain, that's what you do. Hopefully I was able to explain that well enough. I'm not sure. I'm going to try to explain it somehow. I mean, you know, buckets mine works a little different than anything. So that'd be at the second mark. And, you know, I'm going to turn that in until it's there. Let's say you get all this tightened back up. Now you're going to want to go back with this. It goes back on top. You put your tiny little washer back on there. Pull the gloves off for this one. His big old fat hands, and this is in the way. You put your washer on. Take the cotter key. And try not to get behind it. And then you go ahead and bend it, you know, your cotter key here, like a little bit like that. All right, and then you can clip it, make it a little bit shorter, then bend it. That way you don't have it sticking out everywhere. Now, of course, you come to the back. Your spring will go on, like so. Your stock with a hole in it. I don't even know what it's called. Stock with a hole. All right. Now at this point, you're going to have a lot more room here. So this is actually a little bent in. So you take your spacer here, and I probably should bend that out a bit. So let me grab my spread it open a little bit. There we go. Now I got room for it to turn. It was kind of bent in a little bit. So, of course, you adjust it to accordingly. Right now I can't move the brake pedal because I do have it up, but you can do this after you take it off. And see, there's not much play left in there. So that means you're going to have very little play on your foot in the front. You can adjust it a little bit more, you know, once you don't want to be flying over the handlebars either, so be careful. Well, if you do the back brakes first, then do the front. All right, that's how you do the rear brakes. Hopefully, that didn't confuse you guys because I don't have it all going together because I got to do that. I got to do this whole bike. But hopefully that explains it. But let me show you the front. Do the front the exact same way. I'll explain the front brakes real quick, so you guys have an idea. And there's also another thing you got to learn about that front brake. Once you do the brakes, you got to worry about that speedometer gear. And a lot of people make this mistake. Well, we're going to show you what that is. Of course, you guys, you probably have it with the cables on and everything already. Just loosen your cable. Same as the back. Just loosen that nut, but you're going to have to use I do believe it's a 10 millimeter on the cable. It comes up here. You're going to want to hold that with the whatever. And then turn this off with a 14 millimeter because it'll spin that cable. So once you get that off, then you can take, let's see how well this is going to come apart because this hasn't, look at, still got cobwebs on it from wherever it's sat. Of course, now I'm using my hammer to pull the bike up a bit. And we'll use my little barter freight light. Hey, it started to come out. I'm surprised. I thought that was going to be rusted in there. But also, guys, there's no spacer on this side. Now, this is for the 70 models. I might have to use another. Camera girl's going to trip and break her neck. Well, shiver me timbers. Look at that. Look at that. They use another brass instead of the spacer. They put that in there with it. That's how he's supposed to be in there. They had that in here with this to add a little spacer. I don't know why, but I guess we'll find that out later. But It's only one of these. All right, once you have the wheel off, cable's out of the way. Okay, camera girl, come over here. Pretty please. So it's the same as the rear. You can do the exact same thing to get this off. But inside here is your speedometer gear. So she'll zoom in on there for you. All right, now I'm going to take it out. If it comes out easy, we'll see. There it is. This is your speedometer gear. This is your speedometer gear on drugs. So it's pretty dry. So I would wash it up real good and re-grease it. But you see these tabs? A lot of guys, they'll put this all back together. They'll put it back in like this, grease it all up, and then they'll put it back together. Okay, they'll put it back in the bike and tighten it all up. Then your speedometer don't work no more. Why? Because there's grooves. See the grooves inside the wheel? One here and there. That's what the speedometer gear actually goes on. See that? That way it turns your speedometer. Now these are just slightly bent down. It got caught once. It's bent down a little bit, and that side's bent down a little bit. Now you can bend them out. You just got to be careful when you do it. But this one will still actually work. Sometimes it's better off to do it this way. Grease it up. You know, make sure you got no dirt and stuff flying around. And then you could slowly, after you get your brakes all together, new ones on, and have it just like that. And you'll see that spinning in there. Is it spinning? I can't see. All these cobwebs. And a broken speedometer cable in there. All that stuff. But anyway, that's how you do that. And then you can put it all back together. There's no adjustment for the wheel here. So you just put the wheel back on, your spacer. Don't use a nut. So, all right. Well, hopefully that works out for you guys. Hopefully you get your Trail 70 back on the road. Oh, and stay tuned for me finish putting together in fast motion the blue Trail 70 that I have in the basement. That's next. If you want to stick around. But hey, if not, please like and please subscribe, guys. Really appreciate it. And then if the weather gets nice, I want to put this back together. We're going to fix it up a bit, make it look decent, rideable. So, hey, at least it runs, right? Well, I had new brakes. Let's go backwards with it. All right, guys. You guys have a great rest of the weekend. You guys take care, and we'll see you again. Thank you for coming to Bucket's Garage and listening to the camera girl and I. Good night. Woo! Cold in here. Yeah, baby. Hey, you guys. All right. Today's the day where I'm going to put this blue Trail 70 back together. Yeah. Can't wait. This is actually going to be kind of fun, actually. So, I got pretty much everything cleaned up as best I can. This bike does have the title, so I want to put it back to, you know, it's been sitting around for a good 30, 40 years. So it's time to sell it because I got my eyes on a ST125. Yeah, okay. And if you want to see this video slow down, let me know in the comments. I'll send you the copy of the slow down version. I'm just going to speed it up because you guys will probably just get bored. All right, let's do this. it's all together at the moment, except for a few parts until I get the engine done. I gotta clean up the engine. It runs, so I just gotta get it cleaned up so I can get ready to put it on the frame. So this is as far as we got. At least it's complete.